Now in this video, we're going to answer the following question. Express the following in terms of trigonometric ratios of acute angles. And we've been given the sine of minus 200 degrees. If you find this video helpful, please consider leaving a like, a comment, sharing this video, and subscribing to our channel for more content like this. The sine function has a periodicity of 360 degrees. In other words, if we were to draw the graph of the sine function, it would repeat itself every 360 degrees, or 2 pi radians. That means that the interval between 0 and 360 degrees is identical to the interval between 360 and 720 degrees. It's also an odd function, meaning that the sine of minus theta is equal to minus the sine of theta. That means that for the purpose of this question, the sine of minus 200 degrees is equal to minus the sine of 200 degrees. An acute angle is an angle that measures less than 90 degrees and more than 0 degrees. We can answer this question in 3 different ways, but first we need to draw a diagram of the 4 quadrants A, S, T, and C in anti-clockwise order. Abbreviations for all, sine, tangent, and cosine. The quadrants S, T, and C represent positive values for sine, tangent, and cosine respectively, or, in the case of all, positive values for all 3. A positive angle is measured anti-clockwise from the positive horizontal axis, and a negative angle is measured clockwise. An angle of minus 200 degrees is therefore measured clockwise from the positive x-axis and drawn in the top left quadrant, which is the sine quadrant. In this quadrant, the sine ratio is positive, which tells us that the sine of minus 200 degrees has a positive value. The acute angle made between the line and the horizontal axis is equal to 200 minus 180 degrees, which gives us an acute angle of 20 degrees. In this quadrant, the sine of 180 plus theta is equal to the sine of theta, and theta is 20 degrees. So, the sine of 20 degrees has the same value as the sine of minus 200 degrees. Using the identity referenced earlier, the sine of minus 200 is equal to minus the sine of 200. An angle of 200 degrees is measured anti-clockwise from the positive x-axis to the tangent quadrant. The sine function is negative in the tangent quadrant, and the reference angle is 20 degrees. So, the sine of 200, which has a negative value, is therefore equal to minus the sine of 20. Substituting this into the first equation gives us the sine of minus 200 equal to minus the sine of 20, which simplifies to the sine of 20. We can also answer this question a third way, using the fact that the periodicity of the sine function is 360 degrees. The sine of minus 200 degrees is equal to the sine of 360 minus 200 degrees, which is the sine of 160 degrees, measured anti-clockwise from the positive x-axis. The sine function is positive in the sine and all quadrants. Therefore, we can reflect the line representing 160 degrees in the y-axis from one positive quadrant to another, to give us a line representing an acute angle of 20 degrees with the positive x-axis in the all quadrant. So the sine of minus 200 is equal to the sine of 20 degrees, which is an acute angle representing the answer to this question. If you found this video useful, please consider leaving a like, a comment, and subscribing to our channel. Thank you.